a world of confusion, delusion, and illusion, there have been those that have had an inner drive, a compulsion to find the truth of who we are, why we are here, and what really has been going on. In these days of great change on earth, those of us who have been driven to be the truth seekers, the way showers, are being called to stand up and shine their inner light through the storms of chaos. We don't follow the well-trodden paths. Instead, we seek out what is hidden in plain sight and leave a trail for others to find their truths when ready. Together, we manifest the changes we wish to see in the world. My name is Star, and I thank you for joining me today on Star's Heart of the Matter. Welcome everyone to Star's Heart of the Matter. I want to thank you for joining us. Hello to everyone in the chat room. Thank you, lovely people, for being here once again. Man, today we are stacked with some amazing articles. Steph is just the king of them, I'm telling you. He's the co-hostess with the mostest in the article department. So, wow, I hope you all have had a good week. I've had a busy week. Sunday at 5 p.m. we took off for North Carolina and got back here at 3 a.m. Tuesday morning. And it was a little over 1,500 mile round trip. And I got my stuff and I got it back here and got it into my sister's garage. It doesn't take up much space. And then brother-in-law had a conniption and thought I'd have to move it. And it's just been some drama. And it's my last step, man. The last little bit, and there's got to be drama with it too. But tomorrow I'll go over and start going through it. The last things. Yard sale next weekend. And I am here in Mobile, Alabama. So, hello, everyone. It's been warm and sunny and breezy, and I got my awning out and looking like I live here. So, Steph, darling, hello.
Good afternoon. How you doing? How's everyone doing in the chat? I'm good. What can I say? Canada is having a small meltdown.
And it's not outside in the weather, is it?
No, it's not too bad. I mean, daytime it gets up there and it'll actually thaw and you're seeing water, but then it's standing on it when it freezes. But otherwise, it's good. In spring, you can tell if it's melting, that means the sap is running here.
Ooh, some good old Canadian maple syrup, eh?
Aye. Yes,
yeah, well,
yes.
I hear Trudeau's in quite a bit of trouble. So maybe he'll be running too, and hopefully not for Prime Minister again. But let's kick it off. You've got a whole trilogy of, Trudeau's about to mess his pants articles.
Well, there's a few here, yeah. Well, what do I say first off is he shrugs everything off and he attacks his own members inside the House. I mean, he's become quite arrogant as a character, and I saw a picture just a couple days ago, again, of Trump looking down at his hand as Trudeau's trying to shake his hand. And I'm looking at it more, and then I went back to that picture today, and I'm like, I wonder if Trump he was well aware of what was going on, because there's a lot of stuff coming out, and it's worldwide, and it's all sorts of different countries and stuff, and I think this week it's Canada's turn to have a mini, wake-up call, I guess. This one here is from Macleans.ca. It's Justin Trudeau. My, how you've changed. So imagine you're Justin Trudeau. The SNC-Lavalin scandal has been battering your government for weeks. Your story keeps shifting. The usually docile media aren't letting it rest. Even 1,000 coordinated tweets about the positive impacts of the Canada Child Benefit can't change the channel. On the contrary, Lafare SNC, now christened LabScam, is picking up steam. You've been forced to accept the resignation of your good friend and top advisor, Gary Butts, who showed himself the door despite doing absolutely nothing wrong at SNC. Your boy Butsy jumped on the SNC grenade to spare others the damage, only Butts missed the grenade completely. Even worse, Jody Wilson-Raybould. There's a name we're going to get back to in a few minutes, because this girl, man, I have high respect for this lady. I.e. the grenade launcher is now before the Justice Committee, and she's relatively free to speak, and she's letting loose. And now the shrapnel's everywhere, and everyone is bleeding. And there's a mini link inside this for her opening statement as well. I'll be able to drop it in chat in a minute. You're bleeding. Your chief of staff is bleeding. Your Quebec advisor is bleeding. Your policy guy is bleeding. Your big spending, do-nothing finance minister is bleeding. Your finance minister's chief of staff is bleeding. And the nonpartisan clerk at the Privy Council, i.e. your own personal pick for the post. I'm going to stop right there. The Privy Council is actually an entity within the government, which is actually the Queen's office in Canada. So if any of these laws are going to be going before the Queen, it's done through the Privy Council. And, okay. Well, Michael Wernick is soiled, comprehensively soiled, and bleeding. It's a riveting testimony. The media are typing as if their lives depend on it. The cable guys are running the full hearing, and the ordinary people are watching, because it's not every day you see a member of the government strafe its leadership. Strafe you. Only strafe is not the word. It's more of a shiv. There's no emotion or hysteria. There's ice in Jody Wilson-Raybould's veins, and a steely determination as she coolly, calmly, incredibly outlines the myriad ways your political, bureaucratic apparatus attempted to impress upon her independent mind you need to have another think on SNC, despite her repeated attempts to everyone, including you, that her thinking of the matter was all done. You're watching this all go down, and it's devastating. Your government is in peril. You're in peril. You're staring a return to your career of part-time drama teaching right in the face, Mr. Trudeau. And so you decide it's time to fight back, because the cast of fifth-rate clowns you set to fill the Liberal seats at the Justice Committee certainly do not have any fighting back. They not only missed the grenades, they picked them up and played with them and didn't even realize that they went off in their faces. That's all right. You're Justin Trudeau, Mr. Sunny Ways, Mr. Hope, and hard work. You got this. So you wheel yourself out to push back against Wilson-Raybould's allegations, only you don't push back. You don't counter Raybould's facts and recollections, any of your own. You don't dispute what has been said, even about your alleged personal involvement, other than to say you disagree with Raybould's characterization of events. And it stinks. It stinks as you moan through a difficult couple of weeks because of internal disagreements. It stinks that you reference your success in making it easy to die and your success in making it easier to get high. That's about the whole weed thing, guys. It stinks as you talk about your job being to stand up for jobs and pensions, to stand up for Canadians and for Canadian workers, and all in an overly dramatic tone that suggests that no other Prime Minister has ever had that in their job restriction. It stinks because you speak about anything other than what Canadians need to hear from you. Okay, this goes on and on. You're going to see where I'm going with all this. I'm going to move on to the next article.
The next one I posted in chat after the Maclean's article was the business Stephen Bronfman. It's this cbc.ca news.
This one I don't have. Oh no.
Okay, hold on. Find it. No matter. We got this. There's just
Okay, Bronfman's a huge name here in Canada, by the way.
Yeah.
Seagrams and billionaires, and they're mixed with the Nixium group. And
here, I'll type it into the bottom right now.
Actually,
I think it's about the fundraiser. Yeah, there you go. Eventually. Things are acting a bit slow today. Oh, we got it.
Oh, okay, I got it.
Yeah, that one, the Paradise. Yeah, Trudeau's a dirty character, and he's on his way out, and Canadians aren't real happy with him. And he's all buddy-buddy with enemies.
Yeah. He's, okay, this is CBC Investigates. Stephen Bronfman left is the chief fundraiser for the Liberal Party and a longtime friend of Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. Bronfman is a huge name. Huge. It's heir to the Seagram fortune, and a close Trudeau family friend was revenue chair of the Liberal Party. That day, according to news reports, the two men raised $250,000 in 2 hours. Within weeks, the Liberals would launch their federal election campaign, sweeping to power for a real change platform that focused on the middle class and a promise to tax the rich. Our government has long known, indeed, we got elected on our promise to make sure that people were paying their fair share in taxes, Trudeau said shortly after his election victory, or before his election victory. Yeah, after. Sorry. Adding words into this, but sorry, guys. Tax avoidance, tax evasion is something we take very seriously. But an investigation by the CBC, Radio Canada, and the Toronto Star has found that Bronfman and his Montreal investment country, Claridge, oh, I know that name. I used to work for them too. Were key players linked with a 60 million U.S. offshore trust account in the Cayman Islands that may have cost Canadians millions in unpaid taxes. See, there's more and more. It's piling up, and it's cool to watch because all this stuff is coming out at the same time. You say you put this in the chat room already? Sharon? All righty. So back to, got another one here. And this is from actually Longueuil, Quebec, because meanwhile, our whole country is freezing and there's people on the streets and stuff. Well, Trudeau has announced Canada will be partnering in NASA-led Lunar Gateway project. This is from ctvnews.ca. Canada will be a partner in a NASA-led project to establish an outpost for lunar exploration as part of a revitalized national space program, Trudeau announced on Thursday. Canada is going to the moon, Trudeau just declared as he made the announcement at the Canadian Space Agency in the Montreal suburb of Longueuil. The National Aeronautics and Space Administration announced last summer it was embarking on the creation of its new Lunar Gateway, a space station that will orbit the moon and serve as a springboard for deep space missions. The station, about one-fifth the size of the International Space Station, is expected one-fifth the size? Okay, wow. That's it. Is expected to be fully functional before 2026 and will serve as mission control for lunar missions. And that's only 7 years away. Okay. The Lunar Gateway will be one of the most ambitious projects ever undertaken by human beings to date, Trudeau said. Not only will this moon outpost allow for a long-term lunar presence, but it will also serve as a launch pad to Mars and beyond. The plan calls for a sustainable lunar architecture that would allow people and equipment to go back and forth to the moon regularly, NASA says. Okay, this is going to go in the chat room, but they're going to... the money that they're putting into it, they're going to put $2.05 billion into this thing. Money's being sent everywhere. This is the thing that's frustrating the heck out of me right now. I mean, people here at home need help more than all these other countries, you know. I mean, it's selfish to say maybe, you know, we live in a first world country and stuff like that, but I kind of see it as them degrading it. And it's like a subtle thing that's been happening over, I don't know, 30 years now. You know, they've taken away our rights. They put NAFTA in place, which actually was supposed to consolidate, did it? Well, I mean, one side or another would make some money off trade with each other and stuff like that, but no one was happy about it, you know, either side.
Do you want me to take over for a minute. I'll keep it on the NASA topic. And then we can segue over to other ones. Did you have any more, Trudeau?
There's plenty of Trudeau. That's the problem. Maybe we should cut it to this, though, because Canada is going through a mini, meltdown or something. It's all coming out, and it's cool to see. Plus, we have to talk about this picture.
Well, go ahead. Do that.
I actually put it into... it hasn't been approved yet, but I actually added a picture on People for People of the table that she was sitting at. And you guys have to notice that on the table, there's a very particular number 17, on her desk right in front of her. This is the lady that has the nuts, the cojones to take on Trudeau herself, So there's more to come, guys. There's a lot more to come. I mean, we could do this whole alleged threats, bribes, prostitutes, scandals, threaten Trudeau, but I think it's just, I'm just going to put it into the chat room because, we can move on. I think it's time. What do you think?
All right. Well, if we got time, we always come back to it. That's for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. I just didn't know if you need a voice break or not. That's what I was going to take over. This one is from WakingTimes.com. NASA reports, NASA never a straight answer, perhaps, who knows. NASA reports that the Earth is greener now than 20 years ago thanks to reforestation efforts. With all the discouraging news about global deforestation and the destruction of the Amazon rainforest, it's good to know that people in many parts of the world are having great success at reforesting planet Earth. In Bhutan, for example, when the nation was celebrating the birth of a new prince in 2016, people came together to plant 108,000 trees, which will become a new forest within a couple of decades. Ecuador set a world record in 2017 for planting a whopping 647,250 trees in a single day. Also in 2017, more than 1.5 million volunteers came together to plant 66 million trees in just 12 hours, setting another world record, which is good since, most California burned down and there's a total, deforestation and landslides and flooding and all sorts of other stuff going on right now. Anyway, I digress. Now, NASA is reporting that the findings of a 20-year study of the Earth, there are actually more trees today than there were 2 decades ago. Which not in the same places, I guess. Thanks in large part to the efforts of countries and communities in India and China. The findings are the result of 20 years of data collection from NASA instruments on board 2 satellites orbiting Earth. And the NASA quote is, taken all together, the greening of the planet over the last 2 decades represents an increase in leaf area on plants and trees equivalent to the area covered by all the Amazon rainforest. Except there were certain things growing in the Amazon rainforest that you're not going to get back now because you got all of it down, so you go plant soybeans or some shit. There are now more than 2 million square miles of extra green leaf area per year compared to the early 2000s, a 5% increase. End quote. A more detailed explanation from the study, quote again, satellite data show increasing leaf area vegetation due to direct factors, human land use management, and indirect factors such as climate change, CO2 fertilization, nitrogen deposition, and recovery from natural disturbances. Among these, climate change and CO2 fertilization effects seem to be the dominant drivers. However, recent satellite data from the year 2000 to 2017 reveal a greening pattern that is strikingly prominent in China and India and overlaps with croplands worldwide. China alone accounts for 25% of the global net increase in leaf area with only 6.6% of global vegetated area. The greening in China is from forests, 42%, and croplands, 32%, but in India is mostly from croplands, 82%, with minor contribution from forests, 4.4%. Furthermore, the news serves as a positive counter to the trend of pollution and environmental degradation we see today in Asia. China and India account for 1/3 of the greening, but contain only 9% of the planet's land area covered in vegetation, A surprise finding, considering the general notion of land degradation in populous countries from over-exploitation. Chi Chen, Department of Earth and Environment at Boston University and lead author of the study. And there's a cool looking graph. The satellites have recorded photos of the Earth every day for 20 years, creating a massive data set that is allowing researchers and biologists to better understand how to preserve the world's forests. The long-term data lets us dig deeper, said Rama Nimani, a research scientist at NASA's Ames Research Center and a co-author of the new work. When the greening of the Earth was first observed, we thought it was due to a warmer, wetter climate and a whole lot of bullshit from Al Gore. That's from me. Fertilization from the added carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, leading to more leaf growth in northern forests, for instance. Now, with the MODIS data, MODIS, that lets us understand the phenomena at really small scales, we see that humans are also contributing to the greening of the planet. You mean things growing again? We're not killing it? No, do tell. Final thoughts. The message is clear. If we come together, we can easily remedy the ecological problems and any other problem we have created here on Earth. Let this good news serve as inspiration to participate in the re-greening of Earth. It also demonstrates how humans can address serious problems once they become aware of what's really going on. Well, that's a deep line right there. The last time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. It's a Chinese proverb. So yay. If you don't hug a tree, at least go shake a leaf. Say hi. And thank you for cleaning our air so that we can continue to breathe it. But anyway, thanks NASA. I hope that's really true. And if it is, that's good news. Okay, moving on. From this NASA flavor of BS to what flavor of BS are we going to now, Steph?
Oh, it's up to you. I just added a de Blasio one, which I just found too, but it's up to you. Mayor de Blasio, New York.
Oh, go for it. That sounds hot off the press.
Pretty much, yeah. This is from dailymail.co.uk. De Blasio's wife can't afford for $850 million. Can't account for the $850 million given to the mental health scheme. Where's $850 million gone? Bill de Blasio's wife can't account for a staggering amount of taxpayer money that the New York mayor gave her for Mental Health Project. Chirlane McCray was assigned an $850 million budget for her Thrive NYC program, but records show the scheme had failed to keep track of what it has spent the money on. The small amount of data that was collected shows it fell far short of targets. Despite that, organizers have expanded the budget to $1 billion over 5 years. Okay. Bill de Blasio's wife, Chirlane McCray, cannot account for where this money has gone. In the 3 years it's been running, organizers at Thrive New York, NYC largely failed to keep records in the initiative's achievements, and data that is collected shows it lagging well behind targets. Wow, my arms. Despite that, the program has been granted an even bigger budget going forward and is now on track to spend over $1 billion in 5 years. Are you just noticing that all these different things are coming to the surface? I mean, we could put this in the chat room. This is obviously just ongoing here, but brand new here.
Well, didn't Q say this past week that within the next 21 days, big, like 5 big news, big things coming?
Yeah. Lots of stuff's going on, guys. Yeah.
Trey Gaddy had said something on Fox News about the tribunals, the ongoing active, like, yes, there really are tribunals, military tribunals in Gitmo, which, in my last update I saw, were put on hold until March 1st. They had done a few things, some stuff going on. I reported that a few weeks ago, and c-vine.com is one of the places you can go and look at what they have. So anyway.
Yes,
What's next? Should I do the PSA?
Yeah, I'll do that one. You do that one.
All right. No, no thanks, none at this time. I'm going to keep my ad blocker on. Washington Times, go away. Doobie-doo. Sorry, I usually have this open to a little like notebook page and I skip all this. And this is one I did not, so I have it now. Is this from December? Hey, Steph. I'm going to forego this one because this is from December 2014. That's the date on that one. That's all right. I got one here I'm going to cover. It's from a couple days ago. This one's here is from the NewYorkPost.com. Okay, you guys ready? Believing conspiracy theories might make you a criminal. This is a study by Rob Bailey Mulatto from the NYPost.com. February 26th. Go figure. If you're a birther or a 9/11 denier, chances are you aren't much fun to be around. They haven't met me. Sure, you've been saying this about a whack job uncle for years, but now it's backed up by science. People who buy into outrageous conspiracy theories say that no human has ever walked on the moon, or the ancient pyramids were built by aliens, or are more inclined to actively engage in antisocial behavior. No. I'm just keeping to myself, not hurting. Oh, I'll shut up. That's the main finding of a team of psychologists from the UK's Staffordshire University and the University of Kent, who investigated the wider impact these paranoia-fueled fringe beliefs can have on behavior, except there's so many articles and stuff coming out that were right. And no, I don't want to kill you. You just need to wake up. Our research has shown for the first time the role that conspiracy theories can play in determining an individual's attitude to everyday crime. Dun, dun, dun. So what if we binge out on NCIS, okay? We understand how it all works. Study co-author and Kent professor Karen Douglas said in a statement, it demonstrates that people subscribing to the view that others have conspired might be more inclined toward unethical actions. No, we're just tired of it being called a conspiracy when the government clearly gets away with unethical and criminal actions on a daily basis, and we're tired of it. But I digress. I'll shut up. I'll go back to the article. With contemporary conspiracy theories targeting everything from myths surrounding the Mueller report to the chilling... Okay, I'm growling now. To the chilling secret behind Disney's Frozen. Oh, she didn't go there. This cultural phenomenon is certainly ripe for clinical exploration. Oh, they give me a phone number to call at the end of this? Mm-hmm. Very good with the paragraph so far. This is fun stuff. I'm glad I read this one. As such, the new study measured participants' belief in general notions of conspiracy, as well as how much they agreed with specific theories. There was an official campaign by MI6 to assassinate Princess Diana. Yeah, there was, sweetie. Those inclined to believe the theories, not a theory. When it's been proven, then it's a fact. So never mind. We're more accepting of everyday crimes, such as demanding a refund for no appropriate reason. Oh, hell no. No, there's usually a reason. If I want my refund, there's a reason. I'll shut up. In addition, exposure to conspiracy theories was found to make people more apt to engage in low-level crime activity. Dun, dun, dun. I'm going to steal a penny from the free penny jar. It's a conspiracy theory, but I'm going to give it to the guy outside and use it to, get his kid an ice cream. Researchers found that this tendency was directly linked to an individual's feeling of a lack of social cohesion or shared values. That's bull crappy. Known as anomie, A-N-O-M-I-E, whatever. For the non-psycholinguist out there, anomie is defined as the lack of the usual social or ethical standards in an individual or group. Whatever. Or as co-author Dan Jolly of Staffordshire put it, people believing in conspiracy theories are more likely to be accepting of everyday crime, while exposure to theories increases a feeling of enemy, which in turn predicts increased future everyday crime intentions. And we must stop them. They're evil. we'll get the Minority Report and get the pre-crime and stop them with all of our little androids in our MK Ultra psychics that let us know who's going to do what tomorrow so that it'll never happen. Wait, I've seen this in a movie. Okay, snapping out of it. Like, all of them. Whatever. Like, we didn't write the story. They did. Hello, we just put it together. They're actually living it. Please go on, so I'll shut up. Which one do you want to go to next, babe? You got a bunch of them, so it's like, spin the wheel. Which one do you want?
I'm not sure. Well, we need to talk about Netanyahu at the very least.
Oh, yes. Yes, go ahead.
Being that governments are falling, it would seem, and stuff is coming out at an amazing rate, I'm surprised. I'm actually surprised to see that he's being indicted here. So this is from CNN.com. Israel's Netanyahu to be indicted on corruption charges pending hearing. So this is from Jerusalem. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu will be indicted on bribery and breach of trust charges arising from 3 separate corruption investigations pending a hearing. Israel's Attorney General announced on Thursday evening. The announcement, so close to April's general election, marks a dramatic moment in Israeli politics, and it is a major blow to Netanyahu as he seeks a 5th term in office. 5th term? Wow. Okay. He has repeatedly denied any wrongdoing, denouncing the investigations as a media-led witch hunt. In a primetime broadcast shortly after the announcement, Netanyahu blamed the left for pressuring Attorney General Avichai Mandelblit, a Netanyahu appointee, to issue an indictment. The left understands that they will not beat me at the ballot box, Netanyahu said. They exerted extraordinary pressure on the Attorney General to issue an indictment, even though there is nothing, in order to influence the elections and to crown a left-wing government. This entire house of cards will collapse, I'm sure of it. 4,000%, he added, referencing one of the cases against him. Netanyahu is entitled to a hearing at the impending indictment before charges are formally laid, but that is not expected to take place until long after the election. Under Israeli law, Netanyahu is not required to step down if he is indicted. He is only required to step down if he is convicted, and that conviction is upheld through the appeals process, which could take years. So, I'm going to put this into the chat room because I could keep going on with this, but so he hasn't been indicted yet, as much as everyone keeps saying that he is, right? I'm assuming.
There, I unmuted myself. I think so. And I see Thaddeus in the chat room. So I get to verify if he wants to join us today or not. Figured I'd let him do his thing and let us know. All right. I'm going to cover... Well, I just covered that one, believing conspiracy theories. All right, I have this one left. It's official. Scientists can now make the cannabis psychoactive without the plant. Like a little shaker with sprinkles that goes on top. Whatever. And this is from, I'm putting this in the chat room right now so you guys can look at it too. It's kind of interesting. All right, what do we have here? And this is from sciencealert.com. For the first time, scientists have created, lab-made marijuana is coming. It's a move that is expected to transform the marijuana and pharmaceutical industries. Scientists at the University of California, Berkeley, announced on Wednesday that they had, for the first time, created cannabis compounds in a lab instead of by harvesting them from a plant. If the technique can scale, it could pave the way for making marijuana's therapeutic components more quickly and efficiently for a fraction of the cost of traditional methods. Using an increasingly popular approach known as synthetic biology, the researchers genetically engineered yeast to churn out a key component of marijuana that's a precursor to two of the best-known compounds in the plant, THC and CBD. Using those precursors, they made the compounds themselves, no farm or field required. While THC is the part of marijuana that causes a high, CBD has an emerging reputation as a therapeutic. And there's links all through this article, so I gave you the link in the chat room. And is the active ingredient in the first federally approved marijuana-based medication. Thanks to the health and wellness uses that CBD is tied to, the market for the compound could reach US dollars 16 billion by 2025, up from perhaps US 1 billion or so now. Marijuana plants contain a host of other little-known compounds that scientists suspect also carry therapeutic properties, but it's been too difficult to produce them in large enough quantities to study. That can now be set to change. In a paper published in the journal Nature, the Berkeley researchers outlined how both types of marijuana compounds, the well-known ones like THC and the lesser-known ones like THCV, could be made in a lab. That's likely to have big implications for startups and pharmaceutical companies that want to make new marijuana-based drugs for everything from epilepsy to pain and arthritis. Several companies are working on similar efforts. Wall Street has noticed as well, saying that lab-made marijuana is one of the growing list of factors helping to accelerate cannabis entry into the pharmaceutical and consumer wellness industries. There could be a whole host of new products that could come from this. Jay Kiesling, a UC Berkeley bioengineer who led the study, told Business Insider. Before they can make marijuana compounds without a field or a greenhouse, Kiesling and his team had to go hunting for the ingredients required to make it work in a laboratory, something of a holy grail for the cannabis industry. Lab-made marijuana could have multiple advantages over traditional grown marijuana, like a lower cost and a smaller environmental footprint. Although it really cleans the soil and everything else, it's actually good to grow it in the soil because it helps it all grow better, so don't skip it, help Mother Earth. Several companies are interested in becoming the first to prove that this method, as also known as biosynthesis, works, including Ginkgo Bioworks, a synthetic biology startup in Boston, in Trexon, a biotech in Maryland, and Hyacinth Bio, a Canadian startup. Wall Street is keen to see it happen too. Compared to chemical methods, biosynthesis methods are more cost-effective, scalable, and environmentally friendly. Analysis at the investment firm Cohen said in a note circulated this week. Kiesling and his team spent years figuring out how to do it. They uncovered a clue in the plant literature about a way to tweak the genes of yeast using marijuana DNA that could result in it churning out a key precursor to CBD and THC. The process of modifying the DNA of a basic organism like yeast or E. coli to coax it into producing another product is known as synthetic biology. In recent years, investors have been pouring money into companies in this area. Put simply, synthetic biology involves harnessing the power of cells to make things like drugs, biodegradable building materials, and less toxic sweeteners for food. So Kiesling and his team took all the basic ingredients identified by previous researchers, components of yeast DNA and components of cannabis DNA, and tried to make the marijuana compounds in a lab. Several attempts failed. We tried all the tricks we had. We just could not get it to work, so they took another stab at it. After several years of work exploring hundreds of marijuana genes, they were able to hone in on the target, an enzyme called CSPT4. It allowed them to make the ingredients they needed to make compounds like CBD and THC. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, there's a lot more to this article. So anyway, I'll make sure the link is in the chat room. You guys can finish it yourself. But that's very cool. Once again, cannabis coming to the forefront of science and medicine. I don't think they need to go through a lab and screw with it. Just let it grow. People know what to do with it. All right, Steph. Ping pong, back to you.
Ping pong. All right. Well, right along the same lines, you got one here from nature.com. Same story almost. This is scientists brew cannabis using hacked beer yeast. So a modified brewer's yeast could soon provide researchers with access to rare cannabis compounds. Thomas Dearnick, NCMIR, the yeast that people have been using for millennia to brew alcoholic drinks is now being engineered to produce cannabinoids, chemicals with medicinal and sometimes mind-altering properties found in cannabis. The feed described on 27th of February in Nature turns the sugar in brewer's yeast called galactose into tetrahydrocannabidiol, cannabinol. So tetrahydrocannabinol, THC, the main psychoactive compound in the cannabis. The altered yeast can also produce cannabidiol, CBD, another major cannabinoid that has attracted attention lately for its potential therapeutic benefits, including its anti-anxiety and pain relief effects. The hope is this fermentation process will enable manufacturers to produce THC and CBD and rare cannabinoids that are found in trace amounts in nature more cheaply and efficiently, reliably than conventional plant cultivation. And so this is the same story as what you have, but it's a different look, and it's got a bunch of links for different drugs and stuff that it's going to be used for. I'm going to drop this one into the chat room because here we go. And where would you like to go now?
Well, I did all my stories, so you got the rest of them. You told me you had links in the chat. Andy had links open up in tabs, so spin the wheel and pick one. It's on you, darling. Any of them, because the topics you pick are just, I think, cool, and they seem to be really on target. So no matter what, it doesn't matter.
Okay, this is KaraQE.com. Lawmakers hope to boost rainfall in New Mexico via weather modification. This is from Santa Fe, New Mexico. A state lawmaker is trying to make it rain. No, really, a House Democrat is hoping the legislature will fund a weather modification program that will help squeeze precipitation from clouds over New Mexico. Weather modification means to take a cloud that would either form rain or snow and seed it, giving these clouds an extra boost. If we take advantage of what we do have in rainfall, limited as it is, and bump it up a little, that would make a huge difference in our air and climate. Maybe it will move us from constantly being in drought conditions to being in stable conditions, Representative Candy Sweetser, Democrat from Deming said. Representative Sweetser said cloud seeding has been done before in the eastern parts of the state and produced about a 10% increase in precipitation. So we're talking full weather mod, and it's out in the open, guys. Experts speaking on behalf of the bill say the clouds would be seeded with iodized salt, which wouldn't be harmful to people or plants during rainfall. Right. The experts say the clouds only stay seeded for up to 30 minutes. Okay. 30 minutes. Remember the other morning we were looking at those clouds over Mobile? We had those pictures.
Yeah, I had stuff on Skype, and you can take a picture, while you're on video chat. So I said, look at the clouds. The chemtrails were coming in. It was beautiful blue sky. It was beautiful blue sky. And then you get all the chemtrails, the aerosol injection, whatever they want to call it. And we even took a picture of a plane, and it was doing the staggered lines. And then I looked over here, and it was a star. They had done it in a star, and I took a picture of that one too. I've taken a picture of a few pentagrams in chemtrail design over the years.
Yeah. It was pretty wild, though. You could see it billowing out the way it was, and it just sat there and sat there and sat there. And you look over, and it's like blue skies right next to it. It's just eerie.
Well, where I am, in the wind direction where the clouds are coming, is they were spraying it over the Gulf. Or was it inland? Which direction am I facing? That way is there inland. That way is the water over there. Anyway, because I'm right next to the Gulf, the way they were spraying, it was causing or affecting the weather pattern. It was playing into the weather pattern because it picks up the moisture from the Gulf. So you got all these clouds just billowing, and then it's, cloudy, hazy cloudy.
Yeah.
I'm looking at all these DARPA articles you got in here, and the Boeing. Yeah. Which one do you want to start with, and I'll go to the next one after that. These are pretty cool.
Okay, I gotta go back here because
So do this right, Slim.
should we start with Death from Above from the Boeing, the top one here? This is
all right, you can do that one, and I'll get the next one. I'll get the chip one. Okay, go ahead with yours.
Okay, this is Futurism.com. Death from Above. Boeing unveils an autonomous fighter jet, bot gun. Military contractor Boeing announced Wednesday it is developing an autonomous fighter jet plane that it plans to sell to customers around the world. The company plans to fly the pilot-free plane dubbed the Boeing Air Power Teaming System sometime in 2020. While the company says it can design the plane according to a given customer's needs, the autonomous jet may be particularly well suited for long-distance surveillance missions that a human pilot may not be able to perform. Remote control. Though Boeing declined to share its new plane's top speed with Reuters, an autonomous vehicle would feasibly be able to travel faster and farther than a human pilot's physiology would allow, opening the doors to new types of missions. To bring that extra component and the advantage of unmanned capability, you can accept a higher level of risk, Shane Arnott, director of Boeing Research, told Reuters. Flexible machines. Though Boeing has close ties to the U.S. military, the company reportedly plans to sell its autonomous jet to customers worldwide. The U.S. Air Force has already discussed plans to complement crew jets with autonomous systems, Reuters reports, but other countries would be able to use the Boeing air-powered teaming system in other ways as well. We didn't design this as a point solution, but a very flexible solution that we could outfit with payloads, sensors, different mission sets to complement whatever their fleet needs, Kristen Robertson, vice president of Boeing Autonomous Systems, told Reuters. Don't think of it as a specific product that is tailored to do only one mission. I'm going to drop that in the chat. Well, there's a theme going here.
There is. I got that one into the chat.
Okay, cool.
And I'll let you put the next one into the chat if you wish, the BCI chip.
Okay.
It was right underneath it because I'm going to get that one. This is from edgy.app / is the real DARPA's HiveMind. Anyway, DARPA's BCI chip allows pilots to control drones telepathically. Yeah, listen to this. DARPA has developed a brain-computer interface, BCI, that allows a single pilot to establish telepathic communication with a swarm of drones. And I know, Steph, you mentioned this on the show a few times. I don't know if we ever actually did the article, but...
Yes, just to note that this is an older article. This is from September, but there's a point to this, because if you look at what's coming out right now, sorry to interrupt you.
No, it was good. It was good to add it. The U.S. Department of Defense's research and unit, DARPA, which stands for Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, is interested in any new tech that could have bearing on American national security. One of the most promising technologies that DARPA has been actively pursuing in the past years is drones, with some unusual takes like the Gremlin drones, which speak of the missions of the agencies intending for them. Parallel to being on the search for innovative drone ideas, DARPA is also developing ways to control drones. It has a brain-computer interface, BCI, for drone pilots. One BCI, 3 drones. Neural neuronal implants to augment the intellectual capacities of the human brain, to treat mood disorders, to enhance memory, or to control emotions. DARPA's research into brain-computer interfaces is a wide field. We owe DARPA the internet, GPS, and the first ever computer mouse, among many other things. Now we may have to add a brain chip to control swarm drones to its long list of technological innovations. You can read more: Locust, Drone Swarm, latest biomimicry, advanced to change warfare. There's a link. So you click on that link and it's got a whole bunch more links to, what's being said here. In 2015, Jan Schuerman, a quadriplegic woman, piloted a single-engine Cessna and, in another test, an F-35 fighter jet in flight simulator using only her thought in a BCI developed through DARPA-funded research. Now, building on these neurosignaling experiments done with Schuerman, researchers have scaled the system up so the pilot can control 3 aircraft at once. The BCI, brain-computer interface, also allow two-way communication as the pilot can send commands and receive information from the aircraft as well. Quote, as of today, signals from the brain can be used to command and control not just one aircraft, but 3 simultaneous types of aircraft. The signals from those aircraft can be delivered directly back to the brain so that the brain of that user can also perceive the environment. It's taken a number of years to try and figure this out, said Dr. Justin Sanchez, director of DARPA's Biological Technologies Office, on Thursday, September 7th, at the event celebrating the agency's 60th birthday, the D60 Symposium. This is another milestone for DARPA that since the 1970s has been funding research to push the developments of brain-computer interface technology. I thought that was just a conspiracy. Oh my God, now I'm on the list. But they proved it was right. Holy crap. Now what do we do? Keep pushing for truth. That's what we do. In 2016, in partnership with the University of Florida, DARPA held the world's first brain drone race where the contestants had to mind control drones. Yeah. All right. So there you have it.
Mm-hmm. You want to go to the Kalashnikov, which is the Russian version. And actually, this one's kind of cool because it has a different system. It's catapult. It's actually a drone that's catapulted. So it doesn't need... Okay, I got this. All right. This is from Sputnik News. Watch Kalashnikov's kamikaze drone slam into enemy targets. The company unveiled a new unmanned aerial vehicle dubbed the KUB over the weekend at the IDEX 2019 Arms Exhibition in the UAE. The video shows that the drones launch from a slingshot apparatus, which looks like it can be mounted aboard any type of flatbed truck or flat ground surface, along with rendered and live video footage of its flight and its rapid descent toward and destruction of its target at a test range. The UAV system boasts several advantages according to designers, including undetectable launch, high accuracy, silent propulsion, and simple design. Cruising speeds at 80 to 130 miles per hour, the drone can remain airborne for up to 30 minutes and carry a payload of up to 3 kilograms. On Sunday, Kalashnikov's concerned representative said the kamikaze drone had completed trials and was ready for operational use. I'll drop this into the chat room, and there's even more space stuff to come here. I think we should take our break, though. What do you think?
Yeah, we're at the top of the hour, and I think I might have Thaddeus with us. I'm still waiting for confirmation on that. If not, we
yeah, I'm here.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet. Yes, okay, so we will have Thaddeus with a moon update next hour, and I'll be going over the cards, and I think we have a couple more articles that we will at least drop into the chat room, because we were just full of them today. So stay tuned. We'll be back in a few minutes. You're listening to Stars Heart of the Matter.
This is Rick Simpson, and you're listening to People for People Radio.
the voice of truth in Scotland.
In a world of confusion, delusion, and illusion, there have been those that have had an inner drive, a compulsion to find the truth of who we are, why we are here, and what really has been going on. In these days of great change on earth, those of us who have been driven to be the truth seekers, the way showers, are being called to stand up and shine and light the storms of chaos. We don't follow the well-trodden paths. Instead, we seek out what is hidden in plain sight and leave a trail for others to find their truths when ready. Together, we manifest the changes we wish to see in the world. My name is Star, and I thank you for joining me today on Star's Heart of the Matter.
This is Rick Simpson, and you're listening to People for People Radio, the voice of truth in Scotland.
In a world of confusion, delusion, and illusion, there have been those that have had an inner drive, a compulsion to find the truth of who we are, why we are here, and what really has been going on. In these days of great change on earth, those of us who have been driven to be the truth seekers, the way showers, are being called to stand up and shine and light the storms of chaos. We don't follow the well-trodden paths. Instead, we seek out what is hidden in plain sight and leave a trail for others to find their truths when ready. Together, we manifest the changes we wish to see in the world. My name is Star, and I thank you for joining me today on Star's Heart of the Matter. Welcome back, everyone. Thank you for joining us. This is Star's Heart of the Matter. And if this is your first time listening, welcome to the show. We cover a lot of topics. I usually read the cards. I get the energetic update for the week, and I do it by the elements. And twice a month, we get a either new moon or full moon energetic weather forecast, as I like to call it, from Thaddeus Finner. He studies astrology and various aspects of it, which are quite fascinating. It's always a learning lesson for me. And so we have quite a bit yet to cover in our second hour. So before we get into any of that, I know Steph had so many articles. Is there anything else that you wanted to cover before we get to?
We can dub this one the 71's replacement. I think this is from Trends.com. Boeing's Son of Blackbird hypersonic plane could hit 3,800 miles an hour. This is from Digital Trend Picture here. The battle is well and truly on to replace Lockheed Martin's legendary SR-71 Blackbird hypersonic jet after Boeing this week unveiled a concept design that takes high-speed flight technology to the next level. Dubbed the Son of Blackbird, Boeing's design is a direct competitor to Lockheed's underdeveloped SR-72 and would travel at 5 times the speed of sound at Mach 5, 3,836 miles per hour. To put that into perspective, you run-of-the-mill Boeing 787 Dreamliner jet is at a cruising speed of about 506 miles an hour. While the McDonnell Douglas F-15 Eagle fighter can push the dial at around 1,650 miles an hour. So yes, a ride in Boeing's design would have your eyeballs pressed to the back of your skull and your stomach searching for an orifice at which to escape. Nicely said. That's very poetic. Boeing's concept, which is a picture above here in this article, revealed that the American Institute of Aeronautics and Astronautics SciTech Forum in Orlando, Florida, reveals a sleek design that could one day be used for both reconnaissance and combat missions. Clearly mindful of the huge challenges that come with designing such an aircraft, Boeing's chief scientist for hypersonics, Kevin Bowcutt, told Aviation Week recently it's a really hard problem to develop an aircraft that takes off and accelerates through Mach 1 all the way to Mach 5 and beyond. Bowcutt said Boeing is working on developing the aircraft in 2 stages, the first involving test flights of the F-16 size single-engine precursor aircraft to prove the design's viability. After that, the team would aim to develop a twin-engine, full-scaled operational vehicle similar in size to the 104-foot-long SR-71. Boeing will draw on its experiences developing the experimental and unmanned X-43 and X-51 Waverider hypersonic planes. The X-51 had its first fully successful flight in May 2013, flying at Mach 5.1, with 3.5 minutes before running out of fuel and crashing into the Pacific. But the X-51 it was dropped from a larger aircraft, which before using a rocket booster to reach Mach 4.8. It then jettisoned the booster and used a scramjet engine to reach Mach 5. A hypersonic replacement for the SR-71 would need to take off under its own power and accelerate through Mach 1 and above to above Mach 5, and then slow back down and land, a much more difficult challenge, Popular Mechanics pointed out in its report. What a cool-looking plane, though. Here, one sec here, I'll drop this.
Very awesome. Very awesome. All right. Well, thank you. Yeah, I knew you had a couple more cool ones, and I wanted you to get that one out there, so I'm glad you did. All right, guys, we're going to jump into this. I've got the cards out. I'm starting with the earth signs. I'm going to get through the card readings, and then we're going to jump to Thaddeus. So stick with me as we get through all of it. And Rob, yes, I'll get to you after I get through Elisa's first one here. And I'm going to mute for 1 second. All right, so earth signs, we're going to start with you. This is your energetic potentials for this coming week. It is general because it's covering Virgo, Taurus, and Capricorn. So it may resonate, it may not. And it's the best I can do. Some days it's going to rain and you need your umbrella, and some days it rains and you don't. That's about as good of an analogy as I can get to it. So you guys start off with a hermit. This could be a Virgo. This is an earth sign. You also have the Wheel of Fortune. So this is your luck about to change. The world is cycles changing. The wheel is like your luck is changing. And it is, excuse me, you're coming into some more stability. So this is the Four of Wands here. So from going within or getting organized, and just following your intuition as to what you're supposed to do, seek your own guidance on this luck is changing here, just laying in the foundation. So right now I'm doing the little 9 card thing. So this is a cross. So the next row is a Knight of Wands. So there's some action that's coming in fast and quick that you're going to be doing with the 9 of Wands here. That was a Knight. This is a 9. The 9 says that you've done all that you can do. You're ready. You're standing ready. Everything. You've taken care of everything. But the Three of Swords is saying there's something that's got you sad. There's something that's a broken heart. There's some hurtful words. Somebody, you're disagreeing with something. Someone isn't driving with what you want to do right now. The Death card could be a Scorpio, could be a water sign, Scorpio, but it also is the end of a cycle and the beginning of something new. And it doesn't necessarily mean the death of someone in your family or you. It's just the end of a cycle. The card following that is Sun, clarity. And interesting, of all the ones that, got turned around, getting left out in the cold, the Five of Pentacles was reversed. So no longer being left out in the cold, or having clarity to where you understand how to avoid being left out in the cold, to be able to take care of yourself, or you be able to remember the situation. So if I read them up and down, you've got the Hermit card, a message, you're waiting, you're seeking yourself, you're waiting for a message, it comes in, and it lets you know that something's finally over and something new is starting, with the Death card starting again. The Wheel card, again, your luck is changing. You're ready for this. With the Nine of Wands, you've done what you can do. You've got the clarity now with the Sun, Four of Wands, to lay the foundations. You have the celebrations, the reunions, the get-togethers, even though it could be over sadness. Maybe you guys did lose somebody. And this is why the Five of Pentacles is there. Oh, yeah, that whole energy just went, whew, sad, suddenly. All right, anything else for these earth signs? There's something coming in quick that you're going to be able to handle without any problem whatsoever. Yeah, there's abundance coming in. It's the Nine of Pentacles, a star, and the Eight of Wands again, and swords, a message, and abundance, and the Magician. So yeah, this is something you're waiting on. This is appreciations, your wishes, dreams, action, message, abundance. Yeah, making it happen. All right, earth signs. There it is for the week. I think you guys have it. It's general. It's going to pertain to people in different ways, no matter where you are in your little life situation, but somehow it's just kind of cool how it plays in. All right. I think I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to do earth and air. And then Thaddeus, I'm going to let you jump in here. And then I'm going to do the other two signs afterwards. Don't ask me why, I just feel like doing that today. And then I still have wraps to do. So right now, I need, there's some cards for the air signs. That is Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius. So far I have 3 of them, and I'm not jiving with it. There's another one. Something emotional with you guys. This is the air signs, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. You start off with the King of Cups. So to be very emotionally full, or very satisfied, or to have a male, perhaps older male water sign that you're dealing with. But he's very generous. He's got a very full cup. So the emotions, his cup is very generous. And for some reason, the Five of Pentacles came out again, and the Five of Cups. So the Five of Cups is, you've got 3 spilt cups that are empty, but you still have 2 full ones behind you. There's sadness there. Wow. All right, I'm sitting here shuffling. I know you guys can hear me. And I put these back in there. The cards from that last reading were like coming back out again. I keep putting them back in, but this one again is the Three of Swords. And there is, but you got the Empress. Okay, fine. Let's put those back. And I said to lay them down. Okay, whatever you thought you lost out on, that's the best way I can feel this out right now. Whatever you thought you lost out on, you haven't. Because with starting off with the King of Cups, and then, being left out in the cold, and then there's the broken heart, and, the crying over spilled milk, and then there's the Three of Swords, something's, being said or not so nice, but then everything changes. It just totally switches. So this is the air signs. Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius. So then it switches to the Empress, the Ten of Pentacles, the Page of Pentacles, and then the Hermit. So whatever you feel like you lost on, you're getting it back. That, or it could be with an earth sign with the pentacles. And the Empress, that's abundance. She's all four queens. She's generous. She's abundant. She's nurturing. She's loving, caring, giving, health. All of that. And the Page is, a new business venture starting. The Pages are learning, so something getting off the ground. The Hermit is, your inner intuition. The Moon can be clouded judgment, or that can be the Pisces card. So you start off with a water cup or a water sign, and you end it with a water sign. Well, there's something that didn't go so well, and there's the Knight of Wands. You guys are going to be hearing something. It came out with it, too. Where are we at? 5:15? Trying to gauge my time here. I know Thaddeus always has a lot of really cool stuff to cover. That is the Lovers. Yeah. Guys, whatever your broken heart is, be it a situation or an individual, a relationship, you're going to come out on top. Just seek your inner guidance. Go with your heart, with what you really love. And you got to remember to love yourself, too. But with that right there, it looks very good. There's that Knight of Wands, yeah. It's a lot of passion right there. Knight of Wands comes in hot and heavy. All right. Okay, Thaddeus, I'm going to hand it over to you. Let you do your thing, and then I'm going to get back to the last two.
Can you hear me okay?
After. I can hear you loud and clear. Welcome.
Thank you. Okay, so let's start with the electional forecast coming up for the next couple of weeks. And this is the strangest electional forecast I've seen yet. The energies are all over the place. There is no logic or rhyme or reason to any of this. And here's what I've got selected as some of the topics. I've got business success, drive and motivation, creativity, dynamic and progressive energy, which is the 11th harmonic, empathy across boundaries, which is the 17, good luck and optimism, which is flatlined, unfortunately, healing and harmony, 9th harmonic primarily on that one, inner wisdom, depth and discipline, harmonic 7, excellence and transformation, harmonic 13. So don't think that this is like a doom and gloom prediction, because it isn't, but it's like everything is on its own roller coaster ride. So the problem when you see things like this, you really just don't have anywhere to start. So if someone has a specific question, I could probably get into that, but there's really no way for me to describe this tangled knot of energies happening for the next couple of weeks. And I think I know why people are gonna be saying this, and that's because Mercury turns retrograde just before the new moon, and the new moon is very close to Neptune, less than a degree. And so we're looking at basically some Neptunian style confusion. Although in vibrational astrology, we don't necessarily pin that on Neptune per se, but a lot of astrologers are going to say, well, it's all Neptune's fault, and Mercury retrograde at the same time. So let's see what people are saying. Let me get back to the chat.
What would
People for people.
So that would be the biggest. That would be the biggest factor to causing this craziness. Would be what you just mentioned, the Mercury retrograde in Neptune, because we have this whole roller coaster of energies, like you said. So I guess what's the major?
Those are mutually exclusive from the aspects of all the planets and how they interact. Because we could have this same exact configuration and setup with a Mercury station retrograde and a new moon, and the new moon is conjunct Neptune, we could have that and still have everything relatively smooth and kind of coherent
of all the planets.
It's just
and how
that
they
with this particular method
we
I'm
can have
using for
exact
configuration, finding times to do something, or you could look at it the other way around. What kind of energy will most easily allow this activity to happen without me attempting to put any kind of input into it? You could look at it that way. So there's so much different stuff happening, and so many different energies are peaking and dropping off. It's kind of like maybe like a broken radio station that's picking up 3 different stations at the same time or something. I mean, not radio station,
right.
Radio receiver. So
okay, so you said peaking
I'm
and dropping off. Which ones are peaking right now, and which ones are easing off on us?
Okay, maybe I shouldn't have even brought this up. That's how
I'm trying to decipher really and get in there in different ways. If there's a better way you can explain it, go ahead.
Well, I don't think I can explain it because, okay, for example, we'll just take the 7th harmonic, and we'll start with today. It's relatively strong, but by tomorrow it will be half as strong, and it's going to stay that way through, through about March 4th. Then it's going to peak again, stay that way for a good while, drop off on the 8th, flatline all the way through the 12th, and rise again at about March 13th. Now,
okay, and the 7th harmonic does what?
The 7th harmonic is inner wisdom, depth, discipline, silence, organization.
Right. All right, so we're going to be more of those things. Or we're going to be affected.
Well, we're going to be more of those things today, and then about half that much tomorrow. And then we're going to be better at it on the 5th, and then it's going to start dropping off, and then it won't be. But the issue is that when you've got so many different kinds of energy peaking and dropping at different times, there's no pattern to this. It's just random. To me, it looks very, very random for the next few weeks.
Okay,
And
well, here's the point, though.
Really no way
so I still have to go to my sister's and finish going through stuff, which entails me going over there and sorting through and organizing. And I was kind of wanting to get over there today, but it's going to be tomorrow. But today would have been a better day energetically for me to do that as opposed to tomorrow.
Okay.
Like putting what you're saying into my practical application in my life, you know?
Sunday.
Like if...
Sunday.
Okay. Well, that'll work too. I'll probably be there then. Okay.
Sunday, because when you're going through stuff with family, you need as much harmony as you can have.
Yeah, there's not so much harmony right there right now.
Yeah, so that's a
why I need to go through.
on Sunday.
Okay.
And then for creativity, the maximum for that is we're looking at March 10th. So any artists out there, any people doing fun stuff with, painting or creating anything online, it could even be writing an article. Okay, someone says, I don't know much about astrology and stuff, but here's an attempt. I hear people saying if you are Piscean, etc., the new moon in Mercury will affect you by... So does that mean it doesn't affect folks who are not Piscean? Yes, it does affect those people, and I have some of those birthdays coming up. We can talk about that too. Every time I do this, I'm kind of teaching people a little bit next level of astrology because we're getting into some of the aspects.
Yes, and that is something I like it, yeah. Do you want to go ahead and cover the birthdays?
Yeah, so let's get out of the forecast for right now, and let's go to those. And let me pose some of this into the chat. And first thing we'll talk about is Mercury stationing retrograde on March 5th, and that's 6:21 GMT, 1:21 p.m. Eastern. Let's see what happens here. Paste that in. Everybody see that? Yeah. Whoa, it left something out. I don't know what happened here. Mercury is already doing its thing. I mean, when right before the retrograde period, Mercury is very slow, and it will definitely do some stuff. Okay, so what did this copy? I'm trying to figure this out. Sorry, everybody. So we've got some. Yes, here are the birthdays. Okay, great. Okay. So March 19th, 20th, and 21st. September 22nd, 23rd, 24th. June 20th, 21st, 22nd. December 20th, 21st, 22nd. But Vanessa says, personally, I think Mercury in retrograde is an easy excuse for many people. Actually, it's both are true. It is an excuse for many people. I wrote a huge long article about that. I did send that to you. I don't know if you read it or not. But as an astrologer and seeing how Mercury retrograde works, the birthdays I'm giving you is about as accurate as I could be and as helpful as I could be, only knowing someone's birthday. So if your birthday is within that little 2-degree period of these birthdays I'm giving you, so that is about the best I could do without seeing your actual chart. So what's happening is Mercury is stopping in the sky, it's turning backwards, and it's making aspects to your sun, your natal sun in your chart. And the most significant for this will be, okay, I'm trying to read some of the chat. I guess I shouldn't do that. The most significant will be for Pisces people, March 19th, 20th, and 21st. Then after that, it's going to be Virgo, September 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. And then after that, you've got your Gemini people, and then Sagittarius. How will it affect you when Mercury stations retrograde? How do I say this? It's like it deliberately can confuse the perception of what people are doing, and that's where this miscommunication can come into play. Did I even enter this in? I don't even think. Hold on. There we go. Sorry about that, everybody. We're already getting. I'm getting hit by this kind of myself. Okay, so everybody sees it now. Here it is. This is a medium cycle retrograde, and there are 3 different kinds. There's short, medium, and long. And this is a medium cycle, but it's a little on the long side as far as time and degree, but it is definitely a medium cycle, which means it could go either way. So for people who are generally, let's just say they're not in balance with Neptune kind of energy. So that's spiritual energy, mystical things. Maybe they don't like that kind of stuff. This could be a fun period for them. This could be a period where they're going to get spooked. They're going to see a ghost. They're going to see a UFO. They're going to see Bigfoot. Okay. And if you are very tuned in, you could be overly tuned in also. So you could be thrown out of balance that way. And it will leave the shadow period on April 18th. Now this is actually a really cool thing, because usually when when Mercury retrograde leaves the shadow period, the period where it went backwards, it takes a good while for it to leave the sign and then move into a new sign. This time, it's going to leave the shadow period and immediately move into Aries. And that's kind of refreshing. So if you're one of those people who plan everything out and are really watching Mercury retrograde because you've noticed how it disrupts your life, then April 18th is kind of like that time to just say, okay, it's over. It's finally over. Mercury's out of Pisces. It's moved into the new sign. It's stationed direct. Everything's great. So,
Good feeling that day is just going to be like, oh, things work again. So all of a sudden, everything's going to be like flowing positively again instead of all the blocks or the miscommunications. Like, oh, I get it now. That's kind of a feeling I have. So.
Star, you're breaking up. I don't know if it's just me or maybe I should turn off my video. Let me do that. Okay. So turn off my video. Maybe that might help.
All right. Can you hear me now?
I think right at the last little thing you said, yeah, it was pretty good.
Okay. Well, good. Keep talking.
Okay, so here is I posted the Mercury retrograde info. So short cycle, medium cycle, long cycle, and that is helpful. This is stuff a lot of astrologers actually don't even know about. So this will be extremely helpful if you can copy and paste this for yourself, or you can go to my site, search Mercury retrograde. You'll find this information there, because trust me, the long cycle ones do have a reputation, and it's not about getting upset about communication. I mean, outside things can affect your life. You know, it's not always just about you and what you think. But yes, a lot of people use Mercury retrograde as an excuse, and in that article, I was basically just focused on people being fearful of it, and my suggestion for that was just to simply forget all about it. Just don't even think about it. Don't ask questions about it. Just forget about it, because fear is not the right response for this.
So
okay.
It's more influence on everybody, eh?
Hey there.
It's not. How you doing? It's been a while. I'm also fighting dump trucks here too, so it's rather sketchy at the moment. Yeah, at least they're persistent in keeping snow clear, but hey, what can you do? So, oh well, here she is.
Okay.
I had to restart the phone, so I had to even come back. But, yay, technology. All right, can you hear me okay now? How am I doing? Can you hear me?
I can hear you still breaking up quite a bit, but I don't know. Do you guys just want me to continue, guys, or how do you want to run this? Okay. So the new moon is at 15 degrees Pisces, 15 degrees, 47 minutes, March 6th. So this is the very next day, 4:05 p.m. GMT and 11:05 Eastern. Now Uranus will station direct on the same day. This is interesting. And so this new moon is going to be a little different than most. what does that mean? I feel like anytime the outer planets are involved with a lunation, new moon, full moon, you're going to get big events happening and shifts in people's lives. Not much of a news junkie, but I have noticed that we're starting to see things get pretty interesting on the political scene.
Yes, indeed. And it's also the beginning of the Ides of March, eh?
Well, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And the birthdays for the new moon, so March 5th, 6th, and 7th, that's on your birthday. So that will be important if you have a birthday there. June 5th, 6th, and 7th for the square. Opposition, September 7th, 8th, 9th. And then December 7th, 8th, and 9th for the square. Uranus stations direct. And the birthdays for that, April 18th, 19th, and 20th. July 20th, 21st, 22nd, October 21st, 22nd, 23rd, January 18th, 19th, and 20th. I'm thinking Uranus is going to do quite a bit more than the newer full moon. Simply because outer planets just tend to create some kind of a chaos, some kind of a shift, some kind of a change. But if your birthday is around March 5th, 6th, and 7th, then Neptune has already been transiting over your sun anyway. And then the new moon is going to come in and make an aspect there. So those for all of those birthdays I've listed for the new moon, you've got to throw Neptune into the mix and consider that as well, because Neptune has been making major aspects to those people's birthdays too. If you guys don't follow me on this, just send me something and I'll try to explain it in another way. And those are the birthdays. So I have not sent out the newsletter yet. I'm going to get all this written up, typed up, get into a little more of the description of what's going on, and then so if you want to sign up for the newsletter and get this newsletter, go ahead and do that, and I'll have it to you guys probably in the next couple of days. At least that's the plan anyway.
Awesome. And it's at signsinlife.com.
Yeah.
All right,
Yes.
how am I going through? Am I still breaking up?
Yeah, it kind of sounds robotic, but I don't know. Just keep going. Maybe we.
All right, I'll just have to go with it because I still got two elements and some cards in here. Is there anything else you need to cover?
I can hold back and then just let you finish the cards, and then if there's time, I'll come back in and probably say a few more things about the new moon or maybe Mercury retrograde if people have questions about it.
In a world of confusion, delusion, and illusion, there have been those that have had an inner drive, a compulsion to find the truth of who we are, why we are here, and what really has been going on. In these days of great change on Earth, those of us who have been driven to be the truth seekers, the way showers, are being called to stand up and shine in their light the storms of chaos. We don't follow the well-trodden paths. Instead, we seek out what is hidden in plain sight and leave a trail for others to find their truths when ready. Together, we manifest the changes we wish to see in the world. My name is Star, and I thank you for joining me today on Star's Heart of the Matter. world of confusion, delusion, and illusion, there have been those that have had an inner drive, a compulsion to find the truth of who we are, why we are here, and what really has been going on. In these days of great change on earth, those of us who have been driven to be the truth seekers, the way showers, are being called to stand up and shine in their light the storms of chaos. We don't follow the well-trodden paths. Instead, we seek out what is hidden in plain sight and leave a trail for others to find their truths when ready. Together, we manifest the changes we wish to see in the world. My name is Star, and I thank you for joining me today on Star's Heart of the Matter.
Okay, so the new moon. I'm thinking most people know what a new moon is, but astronomically, the new moon happens when the moon passes in front of the sun, and we can't see it anymore. The exact opposite of that is a full moon, and we can totally see the full moon almost 100% of the time. The full moon is exactly 180 degrees from where we see the sun is. Now during a lunar eclipse, parts of the Earth will pass in front of the moon, blocking the light that it's reflecting back to us. So that in that case, we are exactly lined up with the moon. Same with the solar eclipse. With the solar eclipse, the moon completely moves in front of us on Earth, gets in front of the sun, and it just totally blocks it out. Or partial. Parts of the sun are blocked out. Okay? So think of the solar eclipse as like the ideal new moon, and a lunar eclipse is like an ideal full moon. But the reason why the moon is not always being eclipsed is because of where it is north and south of the equator. Does that help anybody out there to understand some about that? I know this is kind of it's better to explain it visually. And I actually did that one time. I created a presentation on this showing how the eclipses work. So retrograde planets simply appear to stop in the sky where they are against the background of stars that they're traveling against and move backwards in the zodiac. That's all that means. When planets quit doing that and then they stop again to turn forward, then we call that a station direct. So you've got a station retrograde and then a station direct. And both are very powerful because the planets are very close to us during these retrograde periods. Like, the planets are physically closer to the Earth. So in the Vedic tradition, they say that the planets are grabbing us more. They're screaming at us even when they're retrograde. And the reason why Mercury retrograde, excuse me everybody, the reason why Mercury retrograde is so important is because it affects how we perceive reality itself and how our communications work. A lot of people notice their vehicles having issues, computers having issues, as we're seeing today, right now. It's already there. It's already working on us. And so it can cause arguments. These things can really make us have a bad day. So the reputation of Mercury retrograde precedes itself. But that doesn't mean that we have to fear these times. It just means that we can just be better prepared. And comments like, well, people are using it as an excuse. Yes, they absolutely are. Sometimes they might even be right about it. It's kind of like these really bad snow days where people just say, you know what, I'm not even going to get out on the road today. And other people say, well, I have to go to work, so I'm just going to go anyway. You know, there's merits for both sides. So get ready for some interesting communications, for people not understanding each other, for people speaking their mind, revealing their true selves, what they really think, what they really want to say. Freudian slips. Look for adventures. Look for spiritual things. Look to open your mind. There's lots of different ways that Mercury retrograde can enrich our lives. So embrace this time. That's what I think. And let's see what people are saying in the chat. Talking about paying bills, and I'm not sure exactly what people are getting at, but this, you know, this is going to be a more mystical time, I think. Time to get into the mysteries, time to get out of your head, time to maybe take a little break. You know, don't be like a Rip Van Winkle and just sleep this whole time away. You use it for something, or maybe go on some kind of adventure.
You know what's coming to my mind, Dennis? It's that the message I'm getting from all this is Mercury has us check over things again. You know, just look at it again. Just slow down. Not yet. Something's going to be missing. It's just going to be a hole. So take the time to readdress things. But it also makes us wait, and where there may not have been an opportunity for a miracle or for that weird little moment, you know, the paranormal or the more, you know, what we're saying mysterious, you know, thing can happen. You know, it's just that the chance, you know, we have to go back and do something, and that's when that moment happens. So that's what I'm picking up from it. Could be interesting few days.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting, really 3 weeks. And, but think about what Neptune means to you. What does the sign of Pisces mean to you specifically? And then watch that idea and that concept be turned on its head. Okay. Or new things revealed about that. Different things. New things, different things, in enlightening things, maybe even, you know, getting some of your cherished beliefs stripped away, you know. You see the truth of what is happening.
Reality check, huh?
Yeah, it could be a reality check. I listened to an interview today about a man who, back in 1993, saw something in the woods. He thought it was like a Bigfoot. He thought that it was somewhere between Bigfoot and a predator-looking thing that was camouflaged against the background. And he felt like he had to apologize to the audience because he had always made fun of people who saw strange things. But this incident actually traumatized him, even to this day. Like he just never really got over it. And so, you know, for people like that, and there's a lot of people out there who who just don't believe in anything strange or weird or different, this is the kind of the time that can show them something else.
Like I said earlier, this should be fun.
Maybe, but maybe not.
For some.
Even if you could tune into this, you're still going to go on a bumpy ride. That's how I see it.
Double check your seatbelt.
And then you find out that it's not even connected, and you've been holding on to it the whole time, and thinking you're going to fly out of the roller coaster, but it was never connected to begin with. So that's the kind of thing Mercury retrograde shows us, is that we think we're in control, we think we're seeing things right, we think that we have these plans that are going to work, and they don't work at all. But then we find out, well, that's good that it didn't work out, because then something else would have happened.
Here's an example of just that. So Dad rented a little U-Haul trailer for us to go back with my stuff in it. We had to get to 4 different places to find a U-Haul that had one that was open and that somebody answered the phone, right? So the one we finally rent from is actually a thrift store. And I can't take all this stuff with me. So of all the places to rent a U-Haul from, the people on the thrift store actually came out to where I was loading the stuff up and ended up buying like 3 pieces of furniture off and put a little bit of cash in my pocket. So for something that seemed like a pain in the butt, like, why is nobody open? Why do we got to go through this? Well, it put, cash in my pocket, helped solve some of my problem, that sort of thing. It just worked out. What seemed to be a pain in the butt was actually a gift coming.
Sure. Or you're expecting a gift, and then it ends up being a pain in the butt, and then later on you appreciate that as a gift. So it's, it is a very surprising time. And time, like, the quality of time actually changes during these retrograde periods. That's something I've been watching and noticing over the years.
The quality of time?
Yeah, the quality, the actual how time moves seems
like we go into like speed up or slow down.
Sometimes it's both. Like that actually to me. Now I mean this is my opinion, my observation, but this is the time where you can time travel mentally or more easily do that.
Wow. Well, then to when do we go?
To when?
Yeah, time travel. To when do we go? Speaking of time travel, our time is almost up, and I've still got to finish up some cards. So I'm going to get back to these.
You've got to hurry.
I can do it. All right, so we know what the moon and all that's going to do to us. I've covered Earth and air elements. So now I'm on to fire. So fire signs. I have your cards out here. You start off with the Judgment. This is the kind of Dharma from before. You're rising up, call to action. The things in the past come back. The things the good that you've done comes back to you. And then the Eight of Wands is your focused actions all towards your goals. It's swift movement. Something's coming in fast. The Knight of Pentacles is earth sign, grounded, usually slow moving, but very, very sure, very secure, and it could be coming in with a message. The next one is an Ace of Pentacles, which is a gift of money, is a start of a new job, is something unexpected perhaps. So there's some judgment call happening with some swift action. This is very general across the top for these cards. You're going to be, well, it could be a Capricorn perhaps, another Earth sign, Virgo, Taurus, maybe offering some money, but there's some money coming in somehow from somewhere. perhaps doing something you feel obligated to do, but you're not sure. That's the Devil card. But there's also the High Priestess. And the amazing cards you have in this deck already, between the Judgment, the Ace, the Devil, the High Priestess. This is, you've got the strength from whatever you've been through before, and you can handle it. You have the ability to make things work on the surface of life, but you also have been to the depths. You understand how the ethereal workings in life go, so you know what to do there. And the Eight of Pentacles is keep working at it. Whatever it is, be it a relationship or a project or a business, you're starting to see the fruits of your labor come. You know, the 7 is you're still working on it, not ready to harvest. The 8 is you're starting to pick the apples. You're starting to get paid. You're starting to see what's coming. You know, you're getting back what you've been put into. And the Queen of Cups, she's emotionally fulfilled. She's offering there. This could be a water sign, but it's someone you're creating with. There's some emotional thing here that you're really strong with. It's really happy with. So whatever you're working on, if this is a relationship, it's coming together. And I gotta do this. Okay, that was a cross. Up and down. We got Judgment. We got the Judgment card. So, you know, return the good you've done from the past. And then the Ace of Pentacles, a divine gift, something being given to you. Perhaps something you've been working on for a while, and you're starting to see it come through. The next row down would be the Eight of Wands, moving very quickly, the action you're taking, perhaps something you feel obligated to do, but you want to. It could be a temptation with this Queen of Cups here. So use caution, perhaps. But I'm getting emotional fulfillment with this. This is something you're really wanting, the love here. Right now you may feel bound to doing what you have to do. But the Nine of Pentacles is slow and steady wins the race. You've got the High Priestess intuition within you, with the Three of Cups, where she's pouring the things in, the 2 cups into one, to where you're creating that. You know, where the High Priestess, like the magician, you know, they have that higher inner knowledge to create and know how to create, how to manifest. And that's what the 3 of Cups, she's doing right there. Okay, so your clarifiers are the strength and the 9 of Cups. So the strength to get through all this, you've got people to lean on. You've got your inner strength there. And the 9 of Cups is the celebration, or don't drink too much. But that is the party. The 9 of Cups is the party, the celebration, the emotional happiness, the you know, you have the wedding and then you have the celebration afterwards, that sort of thing. All right, so that was fire signs, and I'm going to do a shuffle real quick and get where's this deck? Where'd the rest of this deck go? There it is. The water signs done, and Rob, I will do my best here to get to you. Everyone still with me? Am I still here? Oh, do we have some Q? We do, guys. There is new Q. So as I'm shuffling first, water signs. Stuff, come in real quick and read that. Oh, just one. I'm shuffling these so you read that.
Okay, give me a second. I gotta switch back to the other page then. There's 2 links to Twitter posts by Donald Trump's status today. And it says Q wrote this at 12:55 Eastern PM. And, oh, I see, now that the 2-year Russian collusion case has fallen apart, there was no collusion except in Killbox brackets by, B-Y-E, by, as in goodbye, Crooked Hillary and the Democrats. They say, gee, I have an idea. Let's look at Trump's finances and every deal he's ever done. Let's follow discredited Michael Cohen. And I'll put the Twitter links in the chat in a minute. But there's another one here on the fraudulent and dishonest statements he made on Wednesday. No way. It's time to stop this corrupt and illegally brought witch hunt. In Killbox, again, bold, time to start looking at the other side where real crimes were committed. End of Killbox. Republicans have been in Killbox abused enough. Must end now. Carpet bombs are okay. Tactical nukes are better. In brackets, you have minus 21, minus 20, minus 19, minus 18. I think they're counting down the days now, and that's Q. That's it. So he was talking about 21 days, right? We're down to 18 and counting from what he just posted today. It would seem, anyway. So
That's right.
I'll put the link to Q's site here into the chat. Crap, I'm not even on.
Cool.
I'm not even on anymore. Here, one sec. Gotta get back
Well,
on.
you do that, and we're about at the top of the hour, so I'm going to go ahead and cover this last group. That's water signs with the cards here. So what we have going on, we've got the Knight of Wands. So there's an action, hot and fast, coming in. Something could be, he can kind of be seen going backwards, something from the past. The Page of Pentacles, it's learning a new trade. You're going back to school. There's something you're learning, perhaps. The Two of Swords, a decision, perhaps a decision we're not looking at. There's a choice that has to be made. These make more sense going up and down than they do across. So we have the Six of Wands. So that's victory, sovereignty. And then you've got the Wheel of Fortune. So that's the luck changing. The Two of Cups, getting together with the one you love. You've got the happiness, the Eight of Pentacles, the Ten of Pentacles, and the Knight of Swords. So we start off with the Knight of Wands. There's an action coming, and the Knight of Swords is a random message coming through. The Page of Pentacles is an earth sign or learning something new. Make a choice about what you're going to do for your victory. Why? Because your luck is changing, coming together with your partner, be it a business partner, a relationship partner. You're seeing the fruits of your labor. The Ten of Pentacles is the end of that cycle. It's totally being in the presence of all that you have worked so hard for. And the Knight of Swords is a message coming through. So a couple of clarifiers for that. It came out, and it's the Ace of Cups, and again the Two of Swords. And I'm still holding it upside down. So I'm going to take that as this new start in love, this wish that this Ace of Cups here that's coming in, something you've really been hoping for, it helps you make the decision that is done. Because the Two of Swords is up right there, and then it came out again in this other deck. Up and down, action leads to victory and shows profit of what you've been working on, learning a new trade, the total change in the luck and the cycle, and the Ten of Pentacles, enjoying all of that. The decision about a love and a message, and then this is the decisions made about the start of a new love or something you really want. So there you go, water signs, and that was Scorpio, Cancer, and Pisces. There's that. So there, I got everybody in, and I know we're just past the top of the hour, and I believe we have Lizzie and Grizz after us, if I'm right. So parting words, everyone. And we need to hand over the stream to the next one. I want to thank everyone for being here, and thank you for everyone in the chat, and thank you for Thaddeus. And Thaddeus, any parting words? And I'll hand it to Steph.
I just appreciate everybody listening, and I know it's a little confused in the beginning. Apologies for that, but thanks a lot, and see y'all in a few weeks.
Alrighty. Steph, darling, your last words for the day.
Well, actually very interesting about Thaddeus talking about communication. I think communication is going to be a big thing I'm going to have to work on this week, because I've had crossed wires in the last little while, and what I'm hearing and what I'm understanding is not the same. And then add into that the retrograde. Interesting times ahead, I think. So
Indeed.
Thank you so much for showing everyone here in the chat. I'm sorry I wasn't really in there much, but I'm trying to do this on a wee screen now, and it's still a pain. But it's always a pleasure to be here, and thank you to our host with the mostest, Miss Star.
All right, guys. We will be back next Saturday. Or next Friday. Yeah, next Friday. I'm kind of retired. I start work this coming week. A lot of new things are changing. It's great. And everyone hold on to your hats as the new week starts. I want you to be the change and love yourself and love each other. And I love you, world. See you next week. In a world of confusion, delusion, and illusion, there have been those that have had an inner drive, a compulsion to find the truth of who we are, why we are here, and what really has been going on. In these days of great change on earth, those of us who have been driven to be the truth seekers, the way showers, are being called to stand up and shine in their light the storms of chaos. We don't follow the well-trodden paths. Instead, we seek out what is hidden in plain sight and leave a trail for others to find their truths when ready. Together, we manifest the changes we wish to see in the world. My name is Star, and I thank you for joining me today on Star's Heart of the Matter.